என்ன லாங்குவேஜில் பேசலாம்? இங்கிலீஷா தமிழா?
English please.
English please. தமிழா இங்கிலீஷா? Any more answers?
Both.
ரெண்டுமே. அப்போ மேஜர் சுந்தரராஜன் மாதிரி what I come to say நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேனாக்கா shall we follow that? Right, mostly I'll talk in English but I will switch over to Tamil wherever it is required. Thank you. You look at the topic, it says Wonder Women of Madras 1900s. So you might be having an understanding of how women were in the 1900s. நிறைய நம்ம சினிமா பார்த்துருப்போம், படங்கள், பழைய படத்தை பார்த்து தான் நம்ம வந்து ஒரு பிம்பத்தை நம்ம கிரியேட் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கோம். 1900s இருந்த விமன் வந்து they would have been very submissive, very dogmatic, domesticated அப்படிலாம் நம்ம நினச்சிருப்போம் இல்லையா? That's the common misnomer, common misconception. Two pictures. One is Annamalai Nagar Ladies Club and the other is Dindigal Ladies Club. So these were the women's clubs spread across the presidency. And when you look at this Dindigal Ladies Club, unbelievable, all those women holding the rackets and one holding a baby. So obviously, these women, they were empowered enough to have clubs in remote places like Dindigal. I don't say Dindigal is a cosmopolitan city, something that is so great like Madras. So Dindigal மாதிரி ஒரு சாதாரணமான ஊர்ல கூட they were clubs. Annamalai Nagar Ladies Club is nowhere but in Chidambaram. So Chidambaramல இருந்திருக்கு, Dindigal இருந்திருக்கு அப்படின்னாக்கா the women were not left behind, definitely. So today we are going to speak about four women, just four women, four pioneers who shattered the glass ceiling, who broke away from the normal mold and did something or the other which makes them stand apart from the women of those times. So this is one pioneering woman, Miss Anna Model Mani. When I talk about women of Madras, I specifically don't mean women belonging to the city alone. I mean a broader perspective, women belonging to the Madras presidency as a whole. And all these women that I'm going to talk about, they have a definite Madras touch. They have either studied in Madras or they have worked in Madras. So Anna Model Mani, born in the year 1918 in a small village called Peermeadow, a mountainous village, in a very, very orthodox Syrian Christian family. This lady, as is the family's regular practice, she is gifted with a pair of diamond earrings when she celebrates her 8th birthday. நம்மளால என்ன பண்ணுவோம், 8 வயசுல வைர கம்மல் கிடைச்சதுன்னா வாங்கி கால் அழகா மாட்டிப்போம். This lady, what she did, the girl, she said no, I don't want this, and she traded these diamond earrings for a full set of Encyclopedia Britannica. That was her thirst for knowledge. When she was 10 years old, she completed reading almost all the books of her local library. And in 1925, she travels to Vaikom, where she meets Gandhiji during the Vaikom agitation. That is when she decides to give up all her English frocks. She decides to wear only khadi, which she very, very ceremoniously followed till her death. And she thinks she's interested in science, which is again a different route than the women of those days, because those days women were usually sent to either learn literature or home science. And she wanted to study physics. That is where she comes to Presidency College, Madras, where she completes her BSc Physics. And once she completes BSc Physics, one of her friends suggests she go and meet Sir C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman then opens his RRI, a Raman Research Institute in Bangalore. So this lady travels all the way to Bangalore, meets Raman when she has completed her BSc Physics, and asks him for a position as a research scholar with him. We all know Raman as someone, a very senior scientist, a Nobel laureate, a laudable personality, but there were 8 women who did their PhD under Raman. None of them could get their theses completed. He had strict gender segregation in his lab. He never allowed the women to interact with the men. When he found a man and a woman talking, he used to say it was scandalous. Remember, all this was happening in the 1930s and 1940s. At one point of time, Raman was doing research on luminescence of diamonds. It is said that he was having about 300 diamonds in his possession at that time. And he gives away 30 of those diamonds to Anna Mani and asks her to write papers on the luminescence. Anna goes on to write 7 papers on luminescence of diamonds from the period 1942 to 45. And she also submits her PhD thesis to Madras University. And you know, Madras University strikes it down saying she has not completed her MSc. Masterate illama, if you submit a PhD thesis, it is subject to be struck down. So though she has written a remarkable book, her papers of luminescence and her PhD thesis, they lie still at Raman Research Institute in Bangalore. You can find them in the library there, gathering dust. So what happens? She was trying to get a PhD. She completed all the research papers. She had submitted them. It is struck down. So she has no other option but to either continue her studies or to move to some other area where she might find interest. She was not that kind of a person. She was very resilient. She decides that she wants to go to England for further studies. So what happens? She gets a scholarship to study metrology. She is in no way connected to metrology. She is far more a physicist. So when she receives an invite to study metrology, she takes up the challenge. She sails to England in a ship carrying troops. And there she joins Teddington Laboratory. She studies at Teddington, and once she completes it, a doctorate, she comes back and joins Indian Meteorological Department in Pune in the year 1948. So now we are talking about Make in India, Bharat Mein Sab Karo, all that, but all these campaigns, they really started way back in 1950s. So once she started IMD, once she joined IMD, what she does is that she starts calibrating and making India's own thermographs, rain gauges, barometers and anemometers, which we were importing from Europe that time. She had a core team which she trained properly in designing, constructing, calibrating and maintaining these instruments. And we find one of her juniors, by name Katie Joseph, who goes on to say, the lady had a burnable spirit. When she wants a work done, she needs it done. She'll order the guy, she'll tell her juniors, complete this work within 3 days, knowing pretty well that it will take 10 days time. And the guys sat and worked for days together and completed the job on time. She was a very hard taskmaster. And that attitude made her the head of instrumentation department in 1953. When women were hardly entering high school, she headed the instrumentation division of IMD, where 121 staff, all of them men, worked as her subordinates. And she was the one who indigenously designed an ozone sonde to detect ozone depletion. This ozone sonde, only 4 other countries had the technology to develop ozone sonde, and India joined that league. And she was also a member of World Meteorological Organization, member of International Ozone Commission, and when Vikram Sarabhai meets her, she asks her to design an observatory, a meteorological observatory in Tumba, which she does in 1963. And in 1969, she is made the Deputy Director General of Indian Meteorological Department. So she has done remarkable work in the world level also. The Davos Physical Observatory Lab, it was converted to World Radiation Center. And she also set up 35 solar radiation centers all across the country. She also designed indigenous pyrometer, hydriometer, and we also see that she devised the safety landing equipments in 4 of the top airports of the country: Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata and Delhi. She expanded her network of solar observation and she writes 2 books: Solar Radiation over India and Handbook of Solar Radiation Data for India. She retires in the year 1976. And on her retirement also, this lady is not bogged down. She goes back to Raman Research Institute and joins again there. She teaches the students there. She never married all her life. She was wedded to science. She receives the K.R. Ramanathan Memorial Medal given by Indian National Science Academy, and she also receives a citation by International Ozone Commission for her work on ozone depletion. The lady is struck with a stroke in 1994, which confines her to a wheelchair. She still continues working in RRI. When we think of weather forecast, we usually think of Tamil Nadu weatherman. We all know, right? Or those who are very savvy with the social media, we all will be following Tamil Nadu weatherman very closely. So this lady, probably, she was the weather woman of India, who, as always, will fail to take notice of. She dies in 2001. That is Anwani with her sisters. Her sisters probably took care of her till her death. Another pioneering woman, E.K. Janaki Amma. A very remarkable family, this family. The lady that you find there, over that right corner, Kunnu Kulumbi, a Tia woman. She belonged to a matrilineal community. She takes in 3 partners, of whom 2 are very remarkable persons. One is J.C. Hannington, whom we see here, down at the bottom, and the other is Colonel King. Colonel King is none other than the person who set up the Guinea King's Institute. And her third partner was an Indian man. So she had 3 partners in all. And Devi, the topmost person that you're seeing there, she is the mother of Janaki Amma, who was the daughter of this Kunnu Kulumbi, born by J.C. Hannington and Kunnu Kulumbi. So the blood is a mixed lineage, half English and half Indian. And J.C. Hannington is said to be one of the top biologists of those times. So in 1897, Janaki Amma is born, daughter of Kunnu Kulumbi. Mother Devi is daughter of Kunnu Kulumbi. Her father is Eduvela Kakad Krishnan, who was a magistrate in the Madras presidency. The lady moves to Madras to do BSc Botany in Presidency College. Once she completes the BSc Botany, she works for a year in WCC. And she leaves for Michigan University in 1925 because she doesn't want to marry one of her relatives. She is forced by the family to marry her relative, so she elopes to Michigan. And in Michigan, she completes Doctorate of Science in 1931, the first woman to earn doctorate in botany in US. So the first woman to earn doctorate in botany in US is a Tamil woman, not someone from the United States. And she gets interested in cytogenetics by that time. And she crossbreeds a brinjal by name Janaki brinjal with 3 pairs of chromosomes. We usually find that these brinjal varieties with 2 pairs of chromosomes, yes. And this has 3 pairs of chromosomes. And on her way back, when she comes completing her course in Michigan, she stays in John Innes Institute in UK, London, where she meets the love of her life, C.D. Darlington. That is the man, a very charming person. When a person enters into a fling, usually it makes them for their life or ruins them for their life. So obviously, this relationship that they had, probably about, which lasted as a fling for about an year or so, it shaped her entire life. Darlington was her mentor. The two start writing letters and they keep writing till her death. They maintain a very professional and friendly relationship even after the fling is over. And she writes to Darlington, "I am a born wanderer. There is a great restlessness in me." Obviously the right words to describe what sort of a woman she was, in her own words. So she returns to India from John Innes in 1932. For 2 years she works in Madras College, Trivandrum. And in 1934 she joins the Sugarcane Breeding Institute in Coimbatore, the only woman staff of that institute. And she writes a research paper on crossbreeding of sugarcane varieties, which lies on the table of director T.S. Venkatraman for more than a year, gathering dust. She writes the paper and wants it to be published in the Nature journal, which is turned down by the director. She alleges gender and caste bias in the institute. She writes a letter to Darlington saying that she doesn't want to continue there in India. She wants to get back to London. Those days, we were importing sugarcane from a country called Papua New Guinea. Our own sugarcane, as you would have seen, was the robust variety with thick stem, which had lot of, waste and little juice. That was our native variety. But the Papua New Guinea ones are the ones that we see these days. The light colored one where the stalk is very thin but it has a lot of sugar in it. So obviously this lady, she crossbred both the varieties, the Indian variety and the Papua New Guinea variety, and she found a new variety of sugarcane which she named the cocaine. And the cocaine, the namesake of cocaine, was a very successful variety of sugarcane that it was planted all across the country, and India, which was importing sugarcane, started exporting sugarcane during 1935-36. A remarkable feat for a single woman. Unfortunately, the woman is not able to take the gender bias and the caste bias, and she runs back to England. 1940, she gets back to the John Innes Institute and she starts working with Darlington. That is the dormant period in England, Second World War. She dies under her cot to sleep in the nights, and in the morning she sweeps away the shattered glasses and gets back to work. She takes a small palm squirrel from India. She smuggles a squirrel from India. She names it Kapok, and it keeps her company for all the time she is in England. And she gives on rations. 1 egg a week, half a pound of sugar, half a pound of flour for a week. She's surviving on rations. And she writes a book. Despite all these odds, she co-authors a book, Chromosome Atlas of Cultivated Plants, with her mentor C.D. Darlington. She takes interest in garden plants and starts crossbreeding the garden plants. And she has special love for magnolias. She plants a lot of magnolias at Wisley Park, London. You can even see the trees at full bloom even now, the trees planted by her. And she's the only female staff on roll at the John Innes Institute. And she breeds a new variety of magnolia there, which has the botanical name named after her. Cobus Janaki Ammal is the name of a flower. Nowhere in the country a woman has given her name to a flower variety. That is the flower, Cobus Janaki Ammal. She plans to return to India. Incidentally, Nehru meets her on a flight and calls her back to India. She comes back in 1952, where she is appointed as officer on special duty of Botanical Survey of India, and she starts working in Calcutta. People say she used to sweep Chowringhee Lane in the mornings, taking a broom. She had that much of passion towards her work. She reorganized BSI into zones and regions, and she was very friendly with the BSI and scientist Mr. M. S. Swaminathan. She worked in Central Botanical Lab, Allahabad, and then she works in Regional Herbarium, Jammu. She is made Director General of Botanical Survey of India, the first woman to head a science organization of India in 1956. The same year, her alma mater, Michigan University, honors her with honorary LLD. And when Kuntipura Hydel Station project comes up in Silent Valley, she is the first one to take up arms against it. She rejects the notion of a hydel power system in the Silent Valley. She works for a couple of years in Trombay Atomic Power Station, and finally she settles down as Professor Emeritus in Madras University, working at the field station in Magraroyal. She spends the last 20 years of her life in Madras studying medicinal plants, and she dies in Madras in 1984. She is awarded Padma Shri in 1977, the highest citation. And there is a herbarium in Jammu even now, which is named after her, E.K. Janaki Ammal Herbarium, which has 25,000 plants in it. And the government has instituted 2 awards in her name, Janaki Ammal National Award in Plant and Animal Taxonomies. Cinema. Cinema illama namme yarume kedaiyadhu, because we people are more passionate about movies than our families. Illaya? இந்த பேர் யாரும் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஓல்ட் டைமர்ஸ், தவமணி தேவி. நீங்க ஒரு ஆள் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்க சார். லவ்லி. Nice to know that. So, born in 1925, Jaffna, to Justice Kadiresa Subramaniam. She is named Tavamani because she is born after 5 male children. So, 5 பையனுக்கு அப்புறம் பிறந்த பொண்ணு தவமிருந்து பெத்த பொண்ணு. They named her Tavamani Devi. And when she is 13 years old, Ellis Duncan, the director, and T.R. Sundaram, the producer, they see her once when she is on her way to school. They meet the girl and say, "We want you to act in a movie." The girl is first frightened, but Duncan offers her a chocolate. She's more interested and she starts talking to him. They ask her and she says, come and ask my parents. So they go and meet Justice Kaveri Subramaniam at his house and check if the girl can act. They ask her to dance and sing, which she does beautifully for them. And when the director and the producer asked if she could act in the movie, the parents lay down two conditions. One, the parents will accompany her to India. Two, no male, be it the hero of the movie, the director of the movie or the producer of the movie, should touch her. So with these two conditions, the girl sails to Madras and they start shooting for a movie called Sati Ahalya in the year 1937 in Salem. And they arrange a press meet wherein the girl is supposed to meet people from the press. And when the press persons are waiting, she hands out pictures of her donning a bikini. Imagine a small girl, a 13-year-old girl donning a bikini and handing over her own photographs in bikini in 1937 was nothing short of a scandal. It was a huge scandal. The press were going on gaga about her. They were writing so much about her. And when the movie was released in 1937, it bombed. Because you cannot expect the actress to act wearing a bikini in a movie called Satya Ahalya. The movie bombed miserably and until 1941 she gets no more chances. But luckily she gets to play as Shakuntalai. In the movie Shakuntalai, she gets the role of Menaka, which she does with M.S. Subbulakshmi. She overshadows M.S. Subbulakshmi in the movie actually, because most people went to watch the movie for Thaumani Devi rather than for M.S. Subbulakshmi. So this was one movie which catapults her to stardom, Vanamohini, 1941, in which she acts wearing a Hawaiian sarong. 1941, Hawaiian sarong, a lady acting, and think about how the Tamil masses would have taken it. This movie was the rehash of Dorothy Lamore's Jungle movie series, and the BBC terms her as the Nightingale of Tamil Nadu or the Nightingale of Kollywood. She writes her own songs and she sings. She is her own dress designer or costume designer, and she charges a whopping 16,000 rupees for a movie, being a side actress. Whereas M.K. Tyagaraja Balagadar was the leading actor of those times, he was charging 4,000 rupees. Imagine this was in 1941. So there you find the poster of the movie. Nowhere the hero's name is there. U.N.K. Radha Pavam or Orama Ikkare. Thaumani Devi is there over the top. And in 1946, she gets the next chance to stardom. She acts as Devadasi Mohanamba in the movie Vidyapati, where she writes a song and sings. Adho rendu black eyes, enna paathu once twice, kanni chimiti dolly, kaikatti calls me. Is it true your eyes are blue? I'll fall in love with you. I will dance for you. இப்பலாம் பாடி 1946ல ஒரு அம்மா நடிச்சா நம்ம வயசு சும்மா இருப்பானா? And she goes on to act in the movie Aravalli, 1946, which has a hit song. So after this movie Aravalli, she gets a next chance for the movie Rajakumari. Rajakumari was incidentally the movie that again shows MGR in such a huge aura that he starts getting chances as one of the lead heroes. So, and the hero chance la MGR எப்படி கிடைச்சது அப்படினா இந்த அம்மா கூட நடிச்சு தான் அவருக்கு சான்ஸ் கிடைச்சது. இப்போ சொன்னா நம்ப மாட்டீங்க. அந்த படம் ஓடுனது இந்த அம்மாவுக்காக தான். இந்த அம்மா பாடின பாட்டுக்காகவும் இந்த அம்மா ஆடின டான்ஸுக்காகவும் தான். She is the costume designer அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்க. இந்த அம்மா வந்துச்சா ராஜகுமாரி.
Yeah.
இந்த படத்துக்கு வந்தாலே ஹேங் ஆகுது. ராசி இல்லைன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ராஜகுமாரிலேருந்து இன்னொரு கிளிப்பிங். ஏன் இந்த கிளிப்பிங் நான் திருப்பி காமிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு ஆசைப்பட்டேன்னா, இந்த படத்தை நடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறமா அந்த மாவுக்கு சான்ஸே கிடைக்கல படத்தில் நடிக்கிறது. ப்ராபப்லி திஸ் வாஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் தி லாஸ்ட் ஹிட்ஸ் தட் ஷி ஆக்டட். இந்த படத்தில் நடிச்சு எம்ஜிஆர் மேலே ஏறிட்டாரு, அந்த அம்மா அப்படியே அங்கி கீழே போயிட்டாங்க. இந்த படத்தில் இப்போ நீங்கள் பார்ப்பீங்க, இதை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், அவர் எங்கேயுமே வந்து வழக்கமாகவே எம்ஜிஆர் வந்து ஹீரோயினை தொடர்ந்து தான் நடிப்பார், பத்தடி இந்த பக்கம் தள்ளி நின்று தான் நடிப்பார். இந்த படத்துலையும் அதே தான் நடக்கும். எப்போவுமே ஹீரோயின் தான் மேலே போய் கையெல்லாம் போட்டு எல்லாம் பாடுவாங்க ஆடுவாங்க. அதே மாதிரி இந்த இந்த படத்தில் செய்வாங்க.
பைத்தியக்கார கண்களுக்கு உலகமே பைத்தியமாக தான் தோன்றும். பேசி மாற்ற வேண்டாம். உன் ஆட்டம் அதை சொல்லுது. கட்டு கலங்காதது, கருத்தை கலக்குவது. அம்மா, தலைவாரி என்று காலை கூட நீட மாட்டான். ஓ, சரியான வார்த்தை. நாட்டியம் என்றால் சாமானியமா? நடிகை முதல் நடிகமான அதில் இன்னது கண்ணின் காலம் இவ்வளவு வேண்டும். சும்மா ஏனம் எல்லாம் இருக்கிறதா? எல்லாம் இருக்கிறது. ஆனா முக்கியமான ஒரு மானம். பெண்களுக்கு அவசியமான அச்சம், அடம், நாணம், பயம் இவ்வளவுதான? என்ன மொழி சும்மா மகாராணி போக்க புரிய வேண்டும். சொல்லியா புரிய வேண்டும்? சுகுமார், நீங்க நல்ல அறிஞராயிட்டே. அறிஞர்தான். ஆனால் அறிவு இந்த அநியாயமாக அவசியப்படுகிறது. சுகுமார், என் ஆவேசம் காட்ட மாட்டோம். நாயே, என்னை விட்டு விடுங்கள்.
தலையை விட்டு விடுங்களாம். தலையை தெரிஞ்சிடாது.
நாட்டையாள மகாராணியா, நாமரைக்காரன் தாமான காரியாணி. யாரும் பத்தி நேரம் சேர்ந்து அறிவு பெற்ற அற்பனை. என் யுத்தத்திற்கு இழந்தாத ஒரு தூசி கூட இந்த உலகத்தில் இருக்க முடியாது. இருந்துட்டவரை கொண்டாட இந்த துன்மாற்றை தூவாறு பிடித்து கட்டுங்கள். இதெல்லாம் கடன் கிட்ட கேட்டீங்கள். கொண்டு போங்க.
ஸோ ட்ரெஸ் அவங்க தான் டிசைன் பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன் இல்லையா? ஸோ இப்போ இதுக்கு முன்னாடி இப்போ நம்ம பார்த்த அந்த சின்ன சீனில் ஷீ இஸ் வியரிங் பிளவுஸ். அந்த சென்டர் போர்ஷனில் அது ஒரு பெரிய பூ தூங்கும். நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். ரொம்ப கேர்ஃபுல்லாக கவனிச்சவங்க பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. அந்த பூ வந்து டைரக்டர் கெஞ்சி கூத்தாடி அந்த அம்மாவை வைக்க சொன்னேன். தயவுசெய்து வையுமா, சென்சார் போச்சுன்னா பாட்டு தப்பாதுமா அப்படின்னு ரொம்ப யோசிச்சு அந்த அம்மா கடைசியில் போனா போது போ அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு வச்சது அந்த பீஸ். ஸோ ஆப்வியஸ்லி வேம்ப் ரோல்ஸ் மட்டும்தான் அவங்களுக்கு. அதுக்கப்புறமா ஒரு 2-3 படத்தில் வேம்ப் ரோல்ஸ் எந்த படமும் ஒழுங்காக போகல. அல்டிமேட்லி அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட்ஸ் நிறையா பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கிறாங்க. லக்ஸ் டாய்லெட் சோப்பில் இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு எல்லாமே. ஸோ த ரேண்டம் பட்ரியார்க்கல் சொசைட்டி இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு உமன் கையில் கிடைச்சா என்ன பண்ணுமோ அதைத்தான் நம்ம பண்ணணும். கரெக்டா? She is the first voice of dissent in Tamil movie industry. She talks about couch casting. Couch casting எல்லாம் இப்போ தான் நம்ம பேச ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கோம். நம்ம ஹீரோயின்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து started speaking about it. But this lady, remarkably, she spoke about it in the 1950s. The reason why she is being ostracized for 10 years. For 10 years till 1960, she doesn't get a movie. She runs from pillar to post in Madras trying to teach dance. She becomes a dance teacher to earn a living. Her own brothers, her own flesh and blood, they refuse to take her back, saying she's got a bad name for the family by acting in bamboos. They were all fine when she was earning money, when she was giving them, they were all fine. And when she didn't get a chance in movies, she's thrown out of the family. So dejected, she moves to Rameshwaram, where she meets Guru Kodilinga Sastrigal, who marries her. That's his second marriage. He is a widower. Both of them marry. She becomes a devout Hindu and shuns the movie world totally. They have 2 sons and she dies in 2001 in Rameshwaram. Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy, another remarkable woman. The statue for her erected in Pudukota. Born in Thirupokaranam, 1886. Father S. Narayana Swami BA is a lecturer in Pudukota Rajas College. Her mother, Chandrammal, whom you can see on the rightmost corner, is an Isai Vellalar by birth. A woman belonging to the Devdasi community. And the man is an Iyer by birth. So imagine what kind of scandals this might have kicked off in the 1880s. The family is totally ostracized by the guy's side. They receive no support at all to run the family. The entire support is from the matrilineal patronage from Chandrammal's family. And this lady, she takes further English tuitions. She comes first in the state metric exams. And when she wants to study in a college, they say no, because it is a men's college in Pudukota. She is not someone who has to accept a defeat and sits back. She gets to meet the Raja of Pudukota, Raja Martanda Bhairava Tondaman. She meets the king directly and requests him a place in the college to study intermediate. For intermediate படிக்கணும்னா ராஜாவை நேரா போய் பார்த்து கெஞ்சுற அளவுக்கு ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன்ல அப்போ women வந்து இருந்திருக்காங்க. The Raja is so happy to find someone like this. He offers her a scholarship and gives her a seat in his college on one condition. The lady should be the first to enter college and she should be the last to exit the college. மற்ற பசங்க வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்துடணும், மென் வெளியே போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி வெளியே போகணும். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கண்டிஷனோட she starts studying. And from there she comes to MMC Madras. She has huge dreams of becoming a doctor. In 1907 she joins MMC and she passes out as first in 1913, the first Indian woman to study medicine in an Indian college. And immediately on passing out, she joins Madras Maternity and Ophthalmic Hospital. She is the first woman doctor to work in that hospital also. Those are her certificates. One is from Madras Medical College and the other one is from the hospital. That is a marriage in white, a wedding in white, where you see C.N. Muthulakshmi Ammal, medical practitioner Parshavakkam, with Chiranjeevi T. Sundaram, Chief Medical and Sanitary Officer, Pudukota State. So this is in 1914. They are married in Kipok. Sundaram Reddy, incidentally, is the first Indian to qualify and complete FRCS, who is incidentally the son of the sister of then Chief Minister of Madras, Subbarayu. The guy goes and meets the lady directly and asks for her hand in marriage. And she says yes, on one condition again. I will keep doing my social work and my family should in no way interfere my social work. So 1914, 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, a woman has the audacity to say, I will do social work, I don't want you to interfere in my social work. And the man agrees. He says yes. They get married as per Brahmanyana Sabha rules of Nivedita in 1914. They have 2 sons. That's the picture of the family taken at a later date. The husband, wife and the 2 sons. She becomes the first Indian member of Women's Indian Association in 1917. Incidentally, she is also the editor of Women's Indian Association's magazine Stree Dharma. She is a lifelong president of WIA. And in 1925, she visits England for further studies, sponsored by Raja of Panagal. Raja of Panagal was a great admirer of her. He vouched for her in all that she did. And in 1926, she attends an international women's conference in Paris, where she speaks. எங்கள் தேசத்தில் பெண்கள் அவ்வளோ உயர்ந்த நிலைமையில் இருக்காங்கன்னு நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். ஆனால் அந்த நிலைமைக்கு சீக்கிரம் வந்துடுவாங்கன்னு நான் நம்புகிறேன். பெண் டாக்டர்கள் இல்லாத காரணத்தினால தேவையான சிகிச்சை எடுத்துக்காத நிலைமையில தான் இன்னமும் எங்கள் நாட்டில் இருக்காங்க. நிறைய பெண் டாக்டர்கள் வர வேண்டும். இதை வந்து அவங்க எங்கே பேசுகிறாங்க? பாரிஸில் பேசுகிறாங்க, தமிழில் பேசுகிறாங்க. 1926 ஈவன் தோ ஷீஸ் அ டாக்டர், ஈவன் தோ ஷீஸ் வெல் வெர்ஸ்ட் இன் இங்கிலீஷ். இப்போ தான் நம்ம சொல்கிறோம், ஏன் நம்ம தமிழில் பேசிட்டாரு ஹாலிவுட்ல அப்படின்னு நம்மளாம் உலகாயும் மறந்து போகிறோம். 1926 3 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு அம்மா பேசியிருக்காங்க பாரிஸில். ஆரம்பம் ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக. மறதி இந்தியாவின் தேசிய வியாதி. So, Women's Indian Association nominates her as its candidate for Legislative Council in 1926. She becomes the first woman legislator of the country in 1926. And in 1927 January, she is nominated as Vice President of Legislative Council. She is selected as the first Vice President of a Legislative Council, the first woman Vice President of a Legislative Council of the world. நிறைய பேருக்கு இது தெரியாது. She fights for women doctors' presence to treat people with venereal diseases, especially women, compulsory health checkup for girl and corporation schools, women wing in police force, grants to women's institutes, free education for girls up to their 8th standard. All these were done in her short stint of 3 years when she was a legislator. And she is writing to raise the marriageable age of boys to 21 and girls to 16. She faces stiff opposition for this. And she writes to Gandhi asking for his support. And in 1927, she moves the Nivedita abolition bill, which is strongly opposed by CPR, who says that the Shata bill, which has already been tabled, is there for discussion, and so this new bill will not be accepted. She keeps fighting for the Nivedita Abolition Act, ultimately, which happens only 30 years later in 1956. So she resigns from Legislative Council in 1930 in support of Salt Satyagraha and goes on to continue her social work. Abhay Illam, she starts Abhay Illam in 1930, which is basically started as a runaway home for the Devadasi women. She takes in almost all the Devadasi girls who run away from their home, and Mual and Ramamridamamma, both of them work together. This is Abhay Illam today. And in 1930 to 32, she plays an active role. She is a participant of the Hatto Education Committee, the only woman in that committee. 1952, foundation stone for Adyar Cancer Institute is laid by Nehru. The Cancer Relief Fund incidentally was started by her. If there was no Muthulakshmi Reddy, there would not be the Adyar Cancer Institute now. So the cancer hospital was her lifelong dream. That is ACI. During its inception, 1960, herself with Indira Gandhi. And she got her major recognition Padma Bhushan in 1956, and we also have a Muthulakshmi Reddy maternity benefit scheme, a cash assistance of 12,000 rupees for below poverty line ladies, and she dies in 1968. This is her house, Arunachalapuram, Besant Avenue. Most of us would have crossed this place. It's next to our home. We don't know that this is Muthulakshmi Reddy's house. It is in a quagmire of a legal tangle now. There is a trust, Arunachaleshwara Trust of the Tiruvannamalai temple, which wants to take back this ground. And the government has been fighting for more than 7-8 years to settle this dispute. The house is literally in shambles now. So finally, to the end of the presentation, ஒரு காஃபி குடிக்கும்போது காஃபி கொஞ்சம் சக்கரத்துக்குள்ளா இருக்கு, சக்கரை நல்லா இருக்கு, காஃபி நல்லா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு நம்ம நினைச்சோம்னா, we should think about the woman who dedicated her life to make our sugar a little bit sweeter. And when you think about weather forecast, டெய்லி நியூஸில் லாஸ்ட்டாக ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் வந்து ஒரு அம்மா இங்கே மழை பெய்யுது அங்கே மழை பெய்யுதுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். வெரி ஈஸி, நமக்கு கேட்கும்போது ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். அதுக்கு பின்னாடி இருக்கிற நெட்வொர்க் 1200 வெதர் ஸ்டேஷன்ஸ் இருக்குது நம்ம நாட்டில். ஆல் ஆஃப் தம் யூஸ் இண்டிஜினஸ் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ். ஸோ இதுக்கு பின்னாடி இருக்கிற அனவாணியை நம்ம நினச்சி பார்க்கணும். ஃப்ரீடம், நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் சுதந்திரம் இருக்குது, செக்ஷுவல் ஃப்ரீடம் இருக்குது, பேசுறதுக்கு ஃப்ரீடம் இருக்குது, நடிக்கிறதுக்கு ஃப்ரீடம் இருக்குது, ஆடுறதுக்கு ஃப்ரீடம் இருக்குது, எல்லாத்துக்கும் நமக்கு ஃப்ரீடம் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு நம்ம இன்றைக்கி நினச்சோம்னா இதுக்கு காரணமான இந்த பைனியரிங் விமனை பற்றியும் எப்பயாவது நம்ம நினைக்கணும். Unfortunately, when we study about history of Madras, we study only about the men of the city. ஆண்களை பற்றி ஆண்கள் எழுதிய ஒரு வரலாற்றையே தான் நம்ம வந்து இத்தனை ஆண்டு காலமாக படிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருக்கோம். மேல்நாட்டவர்கள் நம்மளை பற்றி எழுதினதான் வரலாறா இத்தனை ஆண்டும் நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். அப்போ பெண்கள் தரப்பு வரலாறுன்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு இல்லையா? 50% ஆஃப் த பாப்புலேஷன் நம்ம தான் இருந்திருக்கோம். அப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம்? எல்லாரும் வீட்டிலே ஆயிடணும் இல்லையே. அப்போ இப்படியும் சில பேர் இருந்தாங்க. இந்த சில பேரால தான் இன்னைக்கு இங்கே இத்தனை பேரும் நம்ம வந்து உட்காந்துருக்கோம். I mean the women who are here. So we should be thankful for these women who broke away from the tradition, who broke away from the norms, and did something so championing in their lives. Thank you so much for listening patiently. Question session?
Yeah.